Fair use. Daily Reflections. This is a book of reflections by AA members for AA members. August 5th. Listening deeply. How persistently we claim the right to decide all by ourselves, just what we shall think and just how we shall act. 12 Steps and 12 Traditions, page 37. If I accept and act upon the advice of those who have made the program work for themselves, I have a chance to outgrow the limits of the past. Some problems will shrink to nothingness, while others may require patient, well thought out action. Listening deeply when others share can develop intuition in handling problems which arise unexpectedly. It is usually best for me to avoid impetuous action. Attending a meeting or calling a fellow AA member will usually reduce tension enough to bring relief to a desperate sufferer like me. Sharing problems at meetings with other alcoholics to whom I relate, or privately with my sponsor, can change aspects of the positions in which I find myself. Character defects are identified, and I begin to see how they work against me. When I put my faith in the spiritual power of the program, when I trust others to teach me what I need to do to have a better life, I find that I can trust myself to do what is necessary. Courage to change one day at a time in Al-Anon. August 5th. Resentments poisoned most of my waking hours before I found Al-Anon. I could keep a fire under a resentment for days or years by constantly justifying why I felt the way I did. Today, although it is important to notice my feelings, I don't have to continually rehearse and re-rehearse my grievances. It's not necessary to keep reviewing how I have been hurt, to assign blame, or to determine damages. Ultimately, I may not resolve everything with the person in question, though that might be pleasant if it came to pass. I just want to be rid of the resentment because it prevents me from experiencing joy. I try to shift my energy to where it will do some good. I apply steps 6 and 7 because to me, the way to let go of resentment is to turn to my higher power. I want to become entirely ready to have my higher power lifted, and I humbly ask for help. Today's reminder: if I am holding a resentment, I can simply ask for relief, for peace of mind in the present moment. I will remind myself that this relief will come in God's time. Then I can grow quiet, be patient, and wait. There is a quote from George Jean Nathan, and it reads, "No man can think clearly when his fists are clenched." Just for today, Daily Meditations for Recovering Addicts, August 5th. The shape of our thoughts. By shaping our thoughts with spiritual ideals, we are freed to become who we want to be. Basic text, page 105. Addiction shaped our thoughts in its own way. Whatever their shape may once have been, they became misshapen once our disease took full sway over our lives. Our obsession with drugs self-molded our moods, our actions, and the very shape of our lives. Each of the spiritual ideals of our program serves to straighten out one or another if the kinks in our thinking that developed in our active addiction. Denial is counteracted by admission, secretiveness by honesty, isolation by fellowship, and despair by faith in a loving higher power. The spiritual ideals we find in recovery are restoring the shape of our thoughts and our lives to their natural condition. And what is that natural condition? It is the condition we truly seek for ourselves, a reflection of our highest dreams. How do we know this? Because our thoughts are being shaped in recovery by the spiritual ideals we find in our developing relationship with the God we've come to understand in NA. No longer does addiction shape our thoughts. Today, our lives are being shaped by our recovery and our higher power. Just for today, I will allow spiritual ideals to shape my thoughts. In that design, I will find the shape of my own higher power. Today, Emotions Anonymous, August 5th. Reflection for today. Each day consists of 24 hours. Perhaps I have made commitments which require some part of that time each day. I must also realize that taking care of my physical, spiritual, and mental needs requires some of that time. One of the greatest gifts I give myself is my daily time of meditation. In these quiet, still moments apart from the mainstream of my life, I am able to view people and events from a different perspective. I am open to my inner voice and to the guidance of my higher power. My spirit is refreshed and strengthened through this as surely as my body is nourished by food and drink. Meditation for today. Thank you for being the counselor of my innermost self. Today I will remember I am responsible for my life, including how to spend my time. Strengthening my recovery. Meditations for adult children of alcoholics, dysfunctional families. August 5th. Tolerating pain. The level of pain that adult children can tolerate without admitting they have hit a bottom is astonishing. BRB, page 68. We learned to live with pain as children and continue to do so as adults. When faced with the pain of toxic relationships, we slip into survival mode to avoid the uncertainty of change. We know that our lives are in chaos, that we accept the unacceptable from the people around us, and that we have no reason to expect tomorrow to be better. Yet we trudge through each day, often with a pain so deep it feels out of reach. Everyone who has walked into ACA has felt the apprehension that comes with change. Often fear of change is so strong that we can still convince ourselves that things aren't that bad. We are all creatures of habit, even when those habits are harmful to us. ACA is the first step in saying our lives are out of control and we need help. The question is, do we want to live a life that isn't that bad, or do we have the faith in our higher power, in our program, and in ourselves to overcome the fear of change? We do not have to do this alone. Our fellow travelers are more than willing to take the journey with us. The affirmation reads, "On this day, I will reach out my hand to end the cycle of pain and know there will be someone there to hold on to." Please share, subscribe, like. Remember that recovery is possible and that you are not alone.